What are your motives?
Our only motives are just to keep making records and to keep making videos and doing concerts and doing things that are real consistent with the whole Sparks thing. And
well, Sparks is our thing too.
Howdly doodly doo, Sparks fans. It's All You Ever Think About Is Sparks, and this is episode 53, Pulling Rabbits Out of a Hat, part 3. Tres, trois. I am your host, as usual, your indomitable host, Christian Huey. This episode here wraps up our journey through Sparks' 1984 album, Pulling Rabbits Out of a Hat, one that divides the room with regard to the fan base, but I really do think it heralded a new process, a new vision, and a new way forward for Ron and Russ. Plus, it allowed them to peer through a digital peephole into the future where they could finally, literally, be a two-man band. This episode is an audio-only release, like the classic iteration of this podcast, and it is fully comprised of a conversation that I had with Monte and John Ashdown several months ago. Yeah, it's been a while, but I have dusted off the WAV files, and it's finally here for you. I was extremely lucky that Monte and John had so many contemporaneous memories of this album from its release back in June of 1984, and they had a ton of insightful and even moving things to say about it. This is really their show. I was kind of more the eager student, and they went a long way towards satisfying my epistemophilia of all things Sparks. And you'll kind of hear my voice start to leave me about halfway through the recording. But hey, it all worked out great. I've said it before, and I will say it again and again and again. Monte's YouTube channel, Sparks Entertainment and Art, is maybe the best thing going out there for Sparks fans. And John's beat-tastic, very original and super fun dance music outfit, Christ on a Bike, is still going strong after more than 2 decades. His latest release is called Child's Play 3, and it is available on most streaming services. Next time around, change, singular, not plural. Now, until next time, dance, goddammit.
We now return to our previous conversation with Monte, John, and Christian, already in progress. Next up, the boys yammer on about track 4 of Pulling Rabbits Out of a Hat, Progress.
Just for a bit of boring fact, I found that the LP actually did make the US chart at 202.
Oh, really?
The LP made the US chart at 202. Okay.
202. Billboard
I'd be very
chart.
curious to know who was 201 and who was 203.
Just how many that
I think 201 was Sugar Baby Love.
Not just a dance track in 1984, but something that might be in an advert for something in 1984. And this could just be, again, me reading too much into it, because I always assume there's irony.
Yeah.
I do pick up on irony.
Well, it did very well in the dance chart. Probably, again, from an extended mix that there was.
Because, I mean, it sounds great. It's got a fantastic...
Yeah, no, it made number 28 on the dance chart. So clearly it had a bit of oomph to it dance-wise in the clubs around that time. But didn't obviously make Billboard chart. But nonetheless, probably one of the best songs on the album, actually. In my opinion.
Certainly in terms of just the arrangements and their attempt at doing a proper mid-80s sort of, I guess you wouldn't call that high energy, would you? Not quite.
No, but then again, it comes close, because like a lot of things that were going on around that time, particularly in LA, because they were so popular, there was this way of actually moving pop onto the dance era and putting people into that side of things to get people dancing, not necessarily disco, but more a sort of a club feel.
Yeah.
So not Giorgio Moroder, but getting close to the sort of New York stroke LA scene that was going on at that time, especially over here in the UK. This would have done well had it been released as a dance song. I think this would have been picked up along with a lot of people who were maneuvering themselves from being new wave into club records, the sort of songs that were going to go that way. You
Yeah.
had people like the Human League do that.
Yeah.
Duran obviously did that. So a lot of their 12-inch remixes did really well, and this song would have done that, I think, had it. Well, it clearly did. I mean, it made 28 on the
It did. I
dance.
mean, they did have a 12-inch remix of this one, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. It's on the CD release of it. You
Yeah.
get the extra tracks.
Well, I just find your conversation so fascinating because to me, I was listening to these albums like you, John. I was listening to them when they came out, and I heard them in the context of the times. And I've never quite known what to do with this song. Clearly, they wanted it to have an element that would fit into the times, 1985 or 1984, 1985. It seemed to me to lose a little bit of what I loved personally at that time about Sparks, the personality, but nonetheless, it was a good song. I mean, you can't deny. I agree with you, Christian and John, that it's a good song. I've never quite known what to make of it, but I think it does stand out as a track that endures from this album. I think it's a good song. Yeah. I've just never quite been able to get my arms around where it fits in,
Well, it did very well in the dance chart. Probably again from an extended mix that there was
Because
of
I mean,
this.
it sounds
It
great.
made
It's got a
Yeah,
fantastic.
no, it made number 28 on the dance chart. So clearly it had a bit of oomph to it dance-wise in the clubs around that time. But didn't obviously make Billboard chart. But nonetheless, the probably one of the best songs on the album, actually, like
I
in
think
my
so.
opinion.
Certainly in terms of just
Like a lot of things that were going on around that time, particularly in LA, because they were so popular. Um, there was this way of actually moving pop onto the dance era and
right.
putting people into that side of things to get people dancing. Not necessarily disco, but more a sort of a club feel.
Yeah.
So not Giorgio Moroder, but getting close to the sort of New York stroke LA scene that was going on at that time, especially over here in
Right.
the UK. This would have done well had it been released as a dance song. I think this would have been picked up along with a lot of people who were maneuvering themselves from being new wave into club records, the sort of songs that were going to go that way. You
Yeah.
had people like the Human League do that.
Yeah.
Duran obviously did that. So a lot of their 12-inch remixes did really well, and this song would have done that, I think, had it. Well, it clearly did. I mean, it made 28 on the
It did. I
dance.
mean, they did have a 12-inch remix of this one, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's it's on the CD release of it. You
Yeah.
get the extra tracks.
Well, I just find your conversation so fascinating because to me, I was listening to these albums like you, John. I was listening to them when they came out, and I heard them in the context of the times. And I've never quite known what to do with this song. Clearly, they wanted it to have an element that would fit into the times, 1985 or 1984, 1985. It had it seemed to me to lose a little bit of what I loved personally at that time about Sparks, the personality, but nonetheless, it was a good song. I mean, you can't deny. I agree with you, Christian and John, that it's a good song. I've never quite known what to make of it, but I think it does stand out as a track that endures from this album. I think it's a good song. Yeah. I've just never quite been able to get my arms around where it fits in, But
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. To me, it's one of those times when, because Sparks have overlapped into the dance music scene so many times, and they've not always got it quite right.
yeah, sure. And the lyrics aren't bad. Harkening back to a little bit of the earlier conversation we were having about them moving toward wanting to be an insular production unit, that do it on their own. Part of that is also figuring out what the Sparks identity is. So at the one hand, do you want to have those hits? Do you want to be on the radio and K-Rock or wherever else? Or do you want to, do something that's a little bit more experimental, a little bit different? And you see, this album, maybe it leans a little more toward the former. They're trying to figure out what's going to hit, but at the same time, it's still an interesting song. So I think they're still trying to grasp that identity that didn't really solidify for a few years.
That's interesting because I feel like when it seems like they are trying to make a hit song, that's when they're the furthest off.
But,
and I think that's what Esley says in the book Talent is an Acid, that they were overreaching themselves on this album. I don't necessarily agree with him, but I think they were coming to the end of their deal with Atlantic. I think they were on.
Yeah, Atlantic.
So it was possible that they were there to finish off, do what they needed to do, put out this last album, give it a good shot. They were doing so well in LA, not necessarily the whole of US, but as a band they were doing so well. They'd had a major hit previously, so they could probably do really well with this album. But clearly it just didn't pick up. Just didn't get there, and maybe this was perhaps them overreaching. The songs
overreaching or just weren't inspired.
Yeah, it
that's my interpretation.
See, I see it just slightly different in that I think they were just trying to figure out what is Sparks' music. Is it just Ron and Russ doing hit, disco songs, or is it, or is it something different? And I think they're trying to figure out how do you meld all of that together.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I think they're trying to find their identity. It's
a really tricky thing.
And they're looking at something that's similar to make them sound in a way a bit like that, not necessarily the same, but going down that road of being a synth pop artist on the back end of what they've had, three successive albums that did really well locally, not necessarily everywhere.
Was this not the beginning of a dip in their career?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think it was a dip. I think the next album was the dip, where they lost their way a little bit, mainly because I think they were working alone for the first time. And it took them time to work that out. Maybe the next album also didn't quite make the cut. Wasn't a bad album, just wasn't brilliant. But to go back to Progress, I think that is one of the best tracks on the album.
Yeah. Yes, I'm bothering you, John, for the lyrics.
Oh, right. Okay, you want me to do this one? Okay. Right. Progress. When the sun goes down and it's a brand new night, new ways of standing out are tried and tried. Bigger and bigger is your appetite. A sense of progress is in the air. I'm an all-new design with an all-synthetic spine. I'm a new shade of pink. Get me wet and I won't shrink. You're so young and so alive. You're so 1985. I'm a scratch-free design. Wanna try me? I don't mind. I know my heart can't be broken. I know my will not crack. I know my dreams are atomic and I can take any flack. I know it's progress. When the sun goes up and it's a brand new day, words are invented to describe the way. Colors you never saw before appear. A sense of progress is in the air. I got a new, tougher skin, got a whiter, brighter grin, and I think you're so sweet. Yeah, you knocked me off my feet. But I bounce back, ooh-wee, got a lifetime guarantee. And I love your design, such a deep, long-lasting shine. I know it's progress. You're a tasting, tempting treat. Preparation, just reheat. Want a test drive for free? You got a great anatomy. I know it's progress.
And then we have With All My Might.
With All My Might. That has that Western video, doesn't it? Of
Yeah,
Ron on
yeah,
one and some rather nice lady with Russell, of course.
yeah. Whom I don't know. We don't know who that is, or I don't.
Oh, yeah. There was some,
Some pretty lady.
yeah, it's a model of some sort, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes. I actually didn't think it was a great single, but it really caught on because clearly it did better than some of the others. It did make the Billboard chart about 104. So at
Yeah. So
least it got somewhere.
I didn't know that this was a thing back in 1984, but I guess there was something called the bubbling
Bubbling
under
under.
100,
Yeah,
That's
the
right. That's
bubbling
right.
under.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah.
And this one hit yeah, 104 in the just bubbling under. So hey, here's something.
Yeah, it's one of those sweet, sweet songs, and clearly, it's an actual love song, and
Yeah,
that Ron doesn't usually write those, does he? There's always
right.
some catch to it or something, and this doesn't really have that. I don't know
Yeah,
what
and
Monty
it
thinks.
Well, I'll tell you, this is one I'll engage on. I love this song beyond words. It has a lot of meaning to me. My wife and I met in 1988, and this is one of the first songs we played together and danced to together, and we still get emotional when we hear it. And it's just so sweet, you know? And
Mm.
it's so easy to think of Sparks as, you know, like the complex, multiple arrangements, equators, you know, dick around, you know, the so many songs where they just go off on so much. This one's just very straightforward, and it's just one that's always hit me as a beautiful song.
Yeah, and I think you should do the
great.
lyrics
I
here,
love that.
Monty.
I will, but I also want to point something else out, and this is a good time to do it. If you look at love scenes, you know, going to that Fairlight that you were talking about, the first notes are do 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 do, and then pretending to be drunk, do 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 do, progress, do 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 do, and this one, da 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 da, and I think, John, I'd be interested in your thoughts about this because you may not agree, but I think one of the things that holds this album back to me is that a lot of the songs are so influenced by that Fairlight that they have a similar feel and sound to them. And I don't hear the, you know, diversity that I hear on some of the others. And do you agree with that or do you disagree with that?
I think you're right to a certain extent. There's probably two or three songs that actually probably are in the same key, sound
Yeah.
similar in what's been used on it, e.g. the sequencing. With All My Might, it's a little bit different, I think, slightly because of the fact that it's slower.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could say that. But that's typical of 80s albums. Like a
Yeah.
lot of them
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't say that perhaps Number One in Heaven isn't that too dissimilar in terms of the way that the tracks blend into each other and run through.
Yeah.
This particular song definitely has a feel that it's a love song, it's slower, it's romantic, it's done as a sort of slightly faster ballad.
Yeah.
It's a lovely melody
It's a
too.
lovely
I mean,
melody. Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
flows well.
But to me, that's one of the things that always stuck out to me. But it gets a little more diverse on the second side, so we don't have to belabor it. But
Yeah.
I'll be happy to read the words. The mountains may crumble and cover the road to you, but I'll fight to break on through with all my might. The ocean may rise up and wash you away from me, but I'll bring you back, you see, with all my might. With all my might, I'll fight the dragons that hang around you night and day. And when I see your spirits sagging, I'll hype you up in my own way. The noise of my heartbeat may cover the words I say, but I'll scream and have my say with all my might. And then I always love this verse. But you're independent, and maybe you'll leave someday. I'll try to say that's okay, with all my might. I think that's a mature
Wow.
observation. Yeah. Perfect invention is something that keeps you here, and I aim to keep you here with all my might. I know that it's shaky. I hope I'm not history. I want you to stay with me with all my might.
The mountains may crumble and cover the road to you, but I'll fight to break on through with all my might. The ocean may rise up and wash you away from me, but I'll bring you back, you see, with all my might. With all my might, I'll fight the dragons that hang around you night and day. And when I see your spirit sagging, I'll hype you up in my own way. The noise of my heartbeat may cover.
Yeah, that it's it,
Thank you
that
for
that
reading that.
that particular lyric really speaks to me because at this time, 1984, I met what would have been my future wife, and we dated for 7 years. Previous to that, that particular line that you mentioned there about about leaving, there was a girl that I chased after for donkey's years previous to that, and I knew I'd never get her because she was in love with this guy she'd been with since she was a teen, a young girl. And I was never going to get there. But she and I got on really well, and I was more than happy to say, when the time comes, you two get married, that's me done then. And that's fine. And this song really speaks to me that way. Plus, of course, it was at a time when I had I met a lady and we started dating and we were together for years and years. And that's why the album, I think, is quite special to me.
I think that's great. And yeah, that line, you're independent and maybe you'll leave someday. I'll try to say that's okay. That's love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you can do
I
that,
agree.
that's
Yeah.
love. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that to me. I hadn't noticed that before you called attention to it.
Well, he writes on so many levels, doesn't he? He can write that big, complex, verbose operettas, and he can write something as simple and striking
You
as
know,
The differences in terms of the lyrics and the songs he was writing, yeah, like you say, they're clever, they're very clever, but they're so good and so beautifully set out, and they're unique in the way he writes. He's a lyricist, I don't know, writes great music, but as a lyricist, he's really good as well.
absolutely.
The man is a bard in a way.
Turns out.
He's so unique. And Christian, can we have a quick diversion here, or do you want to move on? Because
I will allow it.
okay, one thing I've been thinking about, and I want to do a show on, and maybe we can do it in this format, or maybe we can find a way to do it, is how his lyrics have evolved over the years, and the amount of just personal observation that you see now in the last 2 or 3 albums in particular, compared to the olden days, is absolutely night and day. And you can see that evolution taking place, and it's a beautiful thing. The man's 80 years old.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
Well, that's
thing.
something I need to pay more attention to. I mean, I've noticed a bit of it.
We'll come back to
Yeah,
it.
the subject matters that he comes up with are just out there. The
Well, yeah.
amount of diversity in what he writes about and the storylines are just amazing.
and then that's 29 seconds later. And then we have song 7, which is Everybody Move.
Yeah, this for me is where I'm afraid that the two songs that aren't that terrific. They're good, but they're not brilliant. But I have to admit, I have got a little bit more warmer towards Everybody Move. I didn't really rate it. I thought it was a throwaway track, really.
John, I have not been able to get moved because to me it's below him to write lyrics like this. It's just below him. Not that he has to answer to me. I don't give a damn what he writes about, but you'll have a itty bitty rear. That line has just, come on,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I this is another one of those songs that's always been one that I have trouble listening to from beginning to end.
Yeah, I just say there are songs that he's done. For instance, the Big Beat album. There are songs on there which are just crass lyrically.
Well, that was intentional, I thought.
Yeah, well, maybe it was. Maybe he was trying to, hone this punk stroke new wave thing, but I still don't buy that. But this, you're right. Lyrically, it's not particularly.
No,
I mean, it's just like,
and musically, it's not particularly brilliant. Besides that, it's
it gets to a point where, like, you can pretend to be lazy, or you can actually be lazy, and what's the difference, really?
Would you say that this is a brother or a sister to Dance God Damn It?
No, because I think Dance Goddammit, that's where he's using a spare amount of words. It's all personal opinion, right? That's where he's using a spare amount of words, and he's created an epic song.
Dance Goddammit has a completely different emotional thrust to it, to me, than this.
Well, I'm just thinking of it from a lyrically point of view, talking about himself being unable to move his feet or being able to, because he's socially.
I see.
I don't know.
Self-talk.
I'm not talking music.
He doesn't have to write deep lyrics all the time. They can be spare, but these just aren't, in my humble opinion, great lyrics.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, which is why I said at the beginning, it's not quite an all killer, no filler. And this was one of those that lets it down.
Yeah.
I will take the bullet here, gentlemen, and I will read these lyrics.
Okay.
Everybody move. Move it on up and move it down. Sweet little thing, ease it down. Fall in the pool and you'll drown. Everybody move. Wear out the soles of your shoes. Wear out the soles of your feet. Move to the beat. Toot the sweet. There's a red light a-comin'. There's a red light a-comin'. Slam on the brakes and slow down. Everybody move. Unwanted pounds will disappear. You'll have an itty-bitty rear. Better lay off the beer. There's a new thing a-comin'. There's a new thing a-comin'. Better do something with your hair.
Everybody, 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 everybody move. Move it on up and move it down. Sweet little thing, ease it down. Fall in the pool and you drown. Everybody, 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 everybody move. Wear out the soles of your shoes. Wear out the soles of your feet. Move to the beat, to the sweet. There's a red light a-comin'. There's a red light a-comin'.
Yeah, it's almost like he's writing something for people who basically try to do an awful lot of exercise to get rid of fat or something.
Yeah, it could be. Or it's like, Ron, we've got 10 minutes. We need lyrics right now. Sure.
Yes, let's throw that one in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everything's
right.
going to be a masterpiece. It's okay.
But then we have a song that sings itself, which is a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
I I think a couple of you may have hinted that you had some specific or strong ideas about this. Monty, didn't you?
No, not no. I love the song. I love the musical interlude. I know it's not a deep song, with millions of layers and all that. Maybe it is, but yeah, it's just a song that's always hit me. It's one of those personal things. It's always hit me. It's just a fun, a beautiful little song, and the musical part puts it at another level for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it has a little bit of an orchestral feel to it?
Absolutely.
Do 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 do
Yeah.
do do.
That's the only thing that I really wanted to say about this song is I thought this is the little peek into what they would attempt later on with this sort of chamber pop pseudo orchestral thing that would fully blossom in the 2000s.
Yes, I agree. And again, this is the second of the two songs that I feel that's slightly weak.
I just, love it from that subjective view. To me, it just works. I love the way it comes together. I love the musical interlude. I don't know if it's a great song or not, but it's just one that hits me in a personal way.
Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought that was one of the ones you like, but I think I'm confusing that with
like
Harmon,
it.
one of the later albums.
Yeah. No, I do like it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Trying to think of it. I didn't make any notes here in particular. So, who would like to read those lyrics?
I think you should do that one.
All right, will do. I don't know why. This dancing doesn't mean a lot to me. All that it does is make me want to be all alone with you tonight. When I feel you by my side, I go ape. This room is filled with possibilities. Hush now, listen, and you'll hear something bordering on weird. Can you hear? No exaggeration, no hallucination. I can hear it singing now. It's a song that sings itself. It's a song that sings itself. 12 o'clock and all is well. Young fools are we. We think we own the world and own the stars. And yet, in fact, we barely own our cars. I like that line. But in moments such as these, there are future memories you will see. No exaggeration, no hallucination. I can hear it singing now. Dim all the lights. Squeeze me so tight that logic flies from me.
I don't know why this dancing doesn't mean a lot to me. All that it does is make me wanna be all alone with you tonight. When I feel you by my side, I go in. Dim all the lights, squeeze me so tight that logic flies from me. This room is filled with
Go for it, Monty. What do you think?
I love the song. It was one of the, when I heard it the very first time, it just hit me. What if it's just about a guy who happens to be dating two sisters? What if it doesn't go below that level? What if there isn't some deep, one sister is the Soviet Union and the other is United States? What if it's nothing like that? What if it's just, a guy's dating two sisters? It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny and it's well put together and it doesn't fade out. It has a nice little, I love the fact that it just comes to do 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 do. It just comes to that nice ending. It's a complete job.
What's interesting, what to me, it's definitely, I think, about the guy is dating both sisters and they're both aware because, as he states, there's no jealousy anywhere. and that seems to work for him. He doesn't have an issue with it. They don't have an issue with it. That's how it seems. Bearing in mind, Ron's done songs like this where this is where he says it's not a felony anywhere. I mean, you don't know, is it?
Felony.
I don't know. But
as long as everyone's of age.
He's written a few controversial songs that people have been a little bit upset by in the past. So I can't see there's anything wrong with this one. Personally, I've never dated more than one sister, so should have been a single, but wouldn't have been because of the.
I never thought of it that way.
Of what's in it. What's in it? You know, lyrically, it's just a little bit iffy, and they're not going to put that out. I mean, bearing in mind they did put out Young Girls, which was a bit iffy, but probably not at the time.
But iffier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got a lot of questions about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
Do you want me to do this one?
Yeah,
can I do this one and then?
Oh yeah, you do it, Monty.
Because there's a reason why. First of all, I think it's hilarious, but there's something really funny here in the lyrics that I did not notice between 1984 or 85 and now. So
go for it.
Okay, there's a round.
You got to sing it
if you want me to. There's a roundup at the Love Corral, and the air is full of dust, and I think it's going pretty well, but I'm trying to adjust as we walk along the boulevard with a hand in hand in hand. And who cares if people stare at us, because they never understand. That's hilarious. It's just a funny little song. Sisters, where is the jealousy? Is it there? Sisters, is it a felony anywhere? Who cares? I see a double moon in the sky. Sisters, an oversupply.
An oversupply.
It's wonderful.
Right.
It's wonderful. Do I have
I swear, it sounds like a Three's Company episode.
Yeah. Oversupply. Yeah. That could be like the name of the show. Do I have to be a diplomat when I hear you fuss and fight? Do I have to be an acrobat as I try to get it right? I've always loved that little quatrain there. There's a double moon up in the sky, and it's shining down on me, and I know that I'm a lucky guy. That's my biography. And then the chorus. Now, here's the part that I never knew until now. Arms are full, lips are sore. By morning, we could face the light. Now, there's a missing line on the lyric sheet, but not because it goes straight to I would feel a little down. Well, it wouldn't be disastrous. I would still have you around. But before, I would feel a little down is I know if there was one of you, and that's not there. But what really makes it so fast, at least on the one that I have, what really makes it funny is somebody wrote in like 1985 or something in tiny letters, I know if there was one of you. They wrote it on my.
But is it?
I know
Actually, Monty,
if there was one.
Monty, I've got a slightly different lyric. I've got a lyric that I've got from the internet, not from obviously from here, from my LP, and it says, "I know if I was wrong with you, I would feel a little down." So I'm not sure if that is. I know.
I always heard it as I know if there was one of you.
Well,
because he would say, yeah. But it's so. I wonder who wrote that in those tiny little letters way back 35 years ago or so.
So it's either the interpretation of what he's singing, whether it's I know if I what was it you said, Monty? That if it
I know if there was one of you.
There's only one of you.
Which is how I'd always heard it. Yeah.
What I've got here is that I know if I was wrong with you, I would feel a little down. Yeah. So I mean, it's what's been picked up, obviously.
There's a roundup at the Love Corral, and the air is full of dust, and I think it's going pretty well, but I'm trying to adjust as we walk along the boulevard with a hand in hand in hand. And who cares if people stare at us, 'cause I never understand. Where is the jealousy? Is it there? Sisters,
yeah, I guess the final song with lyrics, and that's Kiss Me Quick. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, some interesting lyrics here about lips that taste of cigarettes and California wine, and there's a lot of stuff in here that felt very LA to me.
I always enjoyed it because the arrangement was a little different and has that little drum part in it, and I always enjoyed the little difference in the arrangement from some of the other songs on the album. So, it's not a top 10 Spark song or anything, but it's a solid, enjoyable little tune in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree. And it was a good way to finish the album had it not had the reprise of Sparks in the Dark. It could have finished the album without that, I think.
So
Not saying that.
Let me ask you guys something, because you guys know so much more about this than me. Do you think that Sparks in the Dark Part 1 and Part 2 were just him playing around on that Fairlight and experimenting?
Absolutely 100% is my thought.
Yeah.
If you hear the full version, the extended version, which you could sort of call Sparks in the Dark 3, you could tell they were playing with a song, I think, and couldn't do anything with it, but thought, that still sounds good. And it's like a buttress. It's a start of one part and finishing off the end of the album. But I don't think they really needed to be honest. I mean, I'll admit, I actually nicked this idea for a Christ on a Bike album. For the 7th album, Download the World, I have a song called COAB, Christ on a Bike, Part 1, and then I finish it with Part 2, and then I did a Part 3, which was the whole thing, fleshed out as a B-side or another track on a single that I put out. So I did nick that idea of Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3.
Well, first of all, we need to get on to the podcast exploration of Christ on a Bike as soon as possible, because you've been doing it for an awful damn long time.
Yeah, 21 years.
21 long, yeah, that's fantastic.
39 albums.
What is your general process for producing your Christ on a Bike albums?
It's always about finding a particular beat, usually, and a sample. I do occasionally play around with a keyboard and make an actual riff, but I'm not that clever. I'm not a musician. As I was saying to Monty before you were doing your cat thing, I basically never have been a musician. I'm more a producer, mixer. I assemble songs together, so to speak. So that's what I look for. I look for a catchy sound, a riff, something that sounds unique, and then off I go. If I can do lyrics, I will sing, but if generally I can find an a cappella that I can use, I'll do that. But then, hey, that's where I go with it. Kiss me quick. Kiss me quick, hot and right, no confusion, paradise. Never panic, we're alone. Kiss me quick, there's the phone. Lips that taste of cigarettes and California wine. Lips that taste of fancy food, you drive me out of my mind. I really wish you'd kiss me one more time. Kiss me quick, melt the ice. College ideas, high school eyes. Parademic, dressed in white. Kiss me quick, save my life. Lips that taste of foreign words and complimentary lies. Lips that make a nervous wreck of any normal guy. I really wish you'd kiss me one more time. Kiss me quick, wake me up. Caffeine kisses, not enough. Jungle fever, insect bites, weird religions, pagan rites. Lips that taste of cigarettes and California wine. Lips that taste of fancy food, you drive me out of my mind. I really wish you'd kiss me one more time.
Kiss me quick, hot and right, no confusion, paradise. Never panic, we're alone. Kiss me quick, there's the phone. Lips that taste of cigarettes and California wine. Lips that taste of fancy food, you drive me out of my mind.
Isn't it crazy that, it just a few months after this, they were inspired to create one of, I think, one of the greatest songs they ever wrote.
Oh, Change. Oh, right. Yes.
Change,
No.
Change.
You're right.
Just
You're right.
You're
right. It's
Well,
a really good song, and it's really good live. If you've heard it live.
The two of them just do it together usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see there was a
So are
YouTube guys, the two guys on YouTube that did Sparks albums, rated, and
I did see that.
Pulling Rabbits was third from bottom. So I thought, yeah, thanks
third
guys.
from bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Thanks,
just
guys.
tells you how great everything else is.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Guys, it's been such a tremendous pleasure.
Thanks to both of you, because you really gave me a different perspective on it, and now I'm going to listen to it a little bit different way. So thanks.
And I'd like to have you back on, particularly, John, for should I ever get to gratuitous sax and senseless violins. I think that was another one.
Oh, yes, that would be good. That would be good.
Good night,
Keep
guys.
driving.
So great to talk to you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Take care, all.
Forever in Europe. I think it's destroyed a lot of bands that I hear a record on the radio and I say, that's not bad, that's kind of nice, and then I see them with 20 modern jazz dancers behind them doing all this kind of stuff. I say, where's that coming from? It's like just totally destroys a lot of the image and the mystique you have about a lot of artists. For some artists it can work, but I think for maybe 80% of the artists, I think it's a tragedy.
Yeah, they can remove the imagination on the part of the viewer a lot of times. Speaking of imagination and inspiration maybe as well, who is out there that's really doing it for you guys these days? We'd like to know musicians' tastes in musicians.
They've only had 2 songs, so it's hard to judge if they'll have a career or not, but Frank Goes to Hollywood, the 2 songs they've released have both been real interesting.
Yeah, not just interesting, but very necessary. We'll have that later on in the show, by the way. What are your motives?
Our only motives are just to keep making records and to keep making videos and doing concerts and doing things that are real consistent with the whole Sparks thing. And
well, Sparks is our thing, too.